Joining us now, Special Presidential Envoy for Hostage Affairs, Adam Boehler. Welcome to Fox News Sunday.
Thanks for having me.
I want to start here with a report. A reporter out of Channel 12 in Israel, citing an Israeli source, says that US-Hamas talks over hostages, quote, have failed. Fact or fiction? Where can you give us an update this morning?
I actually think they were very productive talks. They identified some opportunity to come together because we're always asking, Israel, Hamas, how's it going to win? What does it look afterward? And I think they provided some very interesting views there in the discussions.
Interesting views that can lead you to a release or an impasse?
Yeah, I mean, really my goal is to release prisoners. I focused on our alive American, Adi Alexander, and our 4 dead Americans, getting them home as soon as possible, and how important that was to the president, to President Trump. But we also discussed what the end might look like. And I will tell you that Hamas did orient toward a long-term truce, as they called it, a truce where they would be disarmed, a truce where they would not be part of the political policy, and a truce where we would ensure that they are in a place where they can't hurt Israel. Part of that was rebuilding Gaza, but the discussions revolved around a few things that I think might actually end up being some of what you see post Steve Witkoff.
How difficult is it to sit down with the leaders of an organization that torture, that murder people? I mean, the most recent example that has grabbed hearts and minds are the children, the Bibas children, 4 years old, 9 months old. Do you worry that having direct conversations with them gives this group any kind of veneer of respectability or legitimacy on the world stage?
First and foremost, it is hard. I listen to the families' stories. I hug the families when we bring them home, which is unbelievable. And I know exactly what happened. So you walk into there and you kind of have to block it out emotionally, because I'm under no auspices. As much as someone might smile or give me a coffee as we talk, that doesn't mean that they didn't do what they do. My belief then is dialogue is very important. I think I follow the President of the United States. Everybody said he couldn't go to North Korea. He sits with North Korea. You have real discussions. Dialogue does not mean giving things. Dialogue doesn't mean giving millions or billions of dollars like the prior administration did. Dialogue means sitting, hearing what someone wants, and then identifying, does it fit with what we want or not? And then how can you get somewhere in the middle and not have a war? And I think those kind of dialogues are very important to the president because, as he constantly says, he doesn't want war. War is a last resort. He wants a peaceful world. And so what I'm trying to do is say, one, how can I get our hostages out as soon as possible? I feel every single day when they're not out. And then how do you create the circumstances to stop this war?
So obviously there's a lot of widespread reporting that Israel did not like this idea of the U.S. having direct talks with Hamas, that they in fact found out once it was already underway or it had happened. You got a call from Ron Dermer, the head of their strategic affairs. It was described as a very heated phone call. Only you can tell us what actually happened on that call. Why did the U.S. move ahead with these direct talks knowing Israel had objections? And where would you say the relationship is now post the Dermer phone call?
I would say that the Israelis were kept informed. I did have a discussion with Ron. Ron raised some concerns, and quite frankly, it's totally fair for Israel to have concerns if we're having direct contacts with Hamas. For all he knows, he doesn't know me. Maybe I would meet them and say, they seem like such nice guys. You know, let's have beer and chips with them. So I think there was concern. I think I was able to put him at ease, that I wasn't going to go off the rails, that it would be parameters that we would work on together. So I thought that stuff was natural, and there's no question in my mind that our greatest ally is Israel.
So Times of Israel says one of Israel's opposition points to the direct talks was its concern that the U.S. might lose interest in securing a broad hostage ceasefire deal once all American hostages are released. Can you speak to that concern? Is that something you discussed with Mr. Dermer?
Of course. Well, let me tell you something. Not that, but I discussed that with the president. And the president has been very clear that is all hostages. And so I will say, when you think about my job is to get all hostages home there, because the job was given to me by the president and take my orders from the president of the United States. And so he's been very clear. And if you think about the American that was there and the bodies that are there, that was a pretense to bring everybody home. It wasn't a one-off where then United States, we care way too much about the region. If you see the survivors that went and saw the president in the Oval Office, that was a group of Americans, but a group of full Israelis. So we have made that commitment. Israel is a strong ally. If someone wants to take hostage to Israel, we feel it too.
So the president put up a stark warning on social media with regard to Hamas and getting the hostages out. He said, turn them over or it's immediately over for you. He says a beautiful future awaits. But if you don't turn over the hostages, you are dead. Release the hostages now or there will be hell to pay later. What's the deadline and what's the hell to pay?
He didn't set a deadline, but let me just look at when he's done it before. I remember actually a week ago, I was in Baghdad. And there's a little mark of the spot right where al-Soleimani's car with an Iraqi in it, right where it was hit by 2 missiles. And there's a spot. We all got out to look at it. And I remember the day he did it. I actually happened to be the West Wing, but it was surprising. No one else would do it because they were afraid. And this is what I will say. It may seem like he makes empty threats until he carries out the threat. And then it's not so empty. And then you're dead. And so I think in these situations, and he's done the same thing with Iran, they are walking a line on Iran because it's not so hard for us to partner with Israel and take out that nuclear capability, which probably should do.
Well, several examples, as you note, the president's action come to mind. Adam Boehler, thank you for your time. Just know the prayers of folks around the world are with you in this work. Thank you.
Thank you so much.